We are the Galactic Federation of Lights, and we greet you in the love and in the light of the One Creator from our Saturn Council. Before we begin sharing our insights, we would like to tell you that you should only accept those insights that resonate with your heart, leaving behind those that do not resonate, for your free will is the most important for us to preserve. Today, this instrument seeks to understand about the so-called gray alien species that your kind refers to, who originated in the Zeta Reticuli binary star system. Let us tell you that it is a kind of betrayal vibratory sound complex that you will hear from us regarding the gray species of the Zeta Reticuli. The grays in the beginning originated in the Zeta Reticuli and started to evolve. The grays are currently in the starting phases of fifth density consciousness. Most of the grays have chosen the negative polarization pathway, hence their species polarized into the negative, and the minority of positive polarized grays reincarnated into another positive planet. We had offered the grays to be part of our Council of Planets. However, the grays instead joined forces with the negatively oriented Anunnaki forces of Nibiru. And this is allowed by the Creator. Both sides are allowed. Currently, these grays are being genetically modified by the Anunnakis of Nibiru and may appear robot-like to your kinds if you are able to perceive them. They appear pale, almost appearing close to what your kind calls anemic. They have thin limbs, bony and fragile looking. Their eyes are larger compared to your kinds and oval or almond shaped. They possess hairs that are thin and wispy. These grays also have a subspecies much like your pets that look a lot like the drones and resemble bees and ants and are programmed to work in a so-called robotic manner. The Anunnaki existed on planet Earth many thousands years ago, and the seeker will find many evidence that show their essence is still at work, still refining bloodlines, still creating new life forms, still mutating old life, and still trying to influence the earth, but via a proxy in the form of the grays. The grays were genetically mutated by the Anunnaki in such a manner as to resemble the humans. To do this, the Anunnaki in the beginning had to start by abducting some individuals, especially their focus was on those with Rh negative blood, since these beings already possessed the genetically modified quality. The Anunnaki then took these genes and created hybrid fetuses. These fetuses were grown in glass tanks filled with milky nutrition liquid that served as a source for these beings to grow fully. Much like your children, before being born, require the incubation period. In a similar manner, these beings were kept in this nutrition environment in order to allow them to grow fully into a semi-humanoid structure. Some of your so-called abductees that had been taken by these Anunnakis for genetic collection may be able to recollect seeing such hybrid fetuses being grown in glass tanks and milky nutrition liquid. These Anunnakis had visited your planet many times before and signed many treaties with many nations of Earth in exchange of their technology. One of the many such treaties was signed between the so-called leader of a Western nation at that time space, named President Eisenhower, which stated that in exchange for alien Anunnaki technologies, they will be able to abduct people of Earth for collecting sperms, blood samples, and tissues, in order to create more human-like replicates of the grays so that they can be sent to Earth on other missions. Further, this treaty specified that no harm should be done to these entities besides collecting their genes, and that they should be left unharmed. The Anunnaki had to create replicates of human origin because currently the Confederation of Planets, that is the Council over your planets, does not allow any kind of infringements. Hence, the Anunnakis require human-like replicates of Greys in order to send them to Earth on their own missions. Further, the Anunnakis sent their representative to the United States of America in order to make a formal treaty between the Anunnakis and the United States, as it is the most powerful nation that had a lot of influence on Earth's other peoples. This so-called Anunnaki ambassador was named Krill on your language terms. This entity was respected by your peoples at that time, and it was given the title Omnipotent Highness Krill in your language terms. The first landing of this ambassador was filmed and was kept under secrecy. The meeting was also filmed in order to keep the information without any distortions. This treaty that was signed between the entities known as Krill and your people stated that these Anunnakis would not interfere in the affairs of human beings and vice versa. Further, their presence would have to be kept secret in order to prevent mass hysteria and awareness about the abductions that used to take place. Further, these Anunnaki ambassador handed over advanced technology of anti-gravity spacecraft, which your people have learned many things from. Your people have done multiple research on this technology. The treaty also stated that human abductions could only occur on a limited and periodic basis for the purpose of medical examination and monitoring the development, provided that the humans would not be harmed, and that these abducted humans would be returned to their point of abduction, and that their memory would be erased of the event of abduction from their mind complex. Further, a list of all human abductions would be handed over to the human authorities on a scheduled basis. In addition, there was an exchange of beings, that is 20 beings from Earth were sent to Nibiru in a special exchange program that would allow each to explore the purpose of learning and living with each other. The Greys, as per the treaty, also had an underwater world inside your oceans wherein they would test and evaluate certain things. These abductees, as directed by the Anunnakis, would abduct the humans, especially those with Rh negative blood. These abductees would be put on a state that would resemble similar to anesthesia, and two entities that resemble large-sized lizards, who are the Anunnakis, would oversee the procedure that the Greys would perform in a robotic manner, programmed fashion. The Greys, as per the treaty, also had an underwater world inside your oceans, wherein they used it as a test and evaluation center. These were termed as plasma corridor by your people in your language terms. The Greys and the Anunnakis have invented many of these technologies in coordination with several military scientists working at the time-space. On these bases, the Greys have plasma shield surrounding their crafts. Plasma produces extreme heat. However, the Greys have learned to isolate their crafts from this heat using the so-called anti-plasma vacuum technology by adding 2 layers of anti-plasma shields to the exterior body of their crafts. These plasma corridors are the workstation for the Greys when they visit Earth. Over the years, there have been some altercations in which the Greys and humans have collided. However, during such clashes, due to the Greys being advanced, almost always killed those human beings that were involved in the altercation. At the current time-space, however, the Greys are not allowed entry into planet Earth due to the quarantine put on Earth by us, so that no outside sources can visit Earth. However, these beings being notorious for entering into the quarantine zone in order to abduct and collect specimen genes, in order to create gray humanoid hybrids. These beings are also being controlled by the so-called Aster entities, who do not allow entry of these beings into the current time-space of your timeline. Now, let us tell you something that will be of importance for you to understand. Each of you, before incarnating on Earth along with your higher self and other guides, sat together and decided what kind of soul balancing you will need. Some of you decided you needed more balanced energies. Some decided to have love in the heart and wisdom in order to balance it. No matter what your incarnation lessons are, you can be sure of two things. It is about balance and it is unique to each individual. You do not have your incarnation lessons as same as other entities at this time space. It is very unique to each soul. As you find out more about the themes of your life, the lessons that you came here to learn in the school of life, as you may call third density on planet Earth, you begin to get a sense of who you truly are when there is no company around and there is no one to impress, even yourself. And as you empty out all the smacks of pride or pretension or a story that doesn't fit you, into which you have perhaps been trying to fit, you finally become aware of something underlying about your personality. That is what we would call consciousness. Therefore, my friends, you see, you are both at the same time of this world and not of this world. You are consciousness in a physical vehicle, composed of your flesh and bones, and makes you the citizens of planet Gaia. Similarly, you are an infinite creator and eternal entity. At the end of your time, when this physical body shall degrade, you will move forward into new experiences in your energy body once again. Therefore, we leave you now in the love and in the lights of the one Creator within each of you and us. Bye.